Welcome to Straight Up with Steve and Stevona. I'm Steve Hernandez.
And I'm Stevona Delgado.
We're coming at you hot on a Sunday where everything seems to be going wrong.
We're coming at you hot and sticky. As the Chatterbox floor are disgusting.
Okay, here's a little inside info to Chatterbox. We have a cleaning crew on Thursdays and Sundays. And the door guys usually they usually have to mop and do all that kind of stuff and straighten up some. But on the days when there's a cleaning crew, they kind of slack off a lot. You're still supposed to pick up some. But we got in here. The cleaning crew has not been here. And there's limes everywhere, lime wedges, used condoms.
Toilet paper everywhere.
Stevona went in the bathroom and went, I don't even want to know what was in there.
I walked into a giant mountain of used toilet paper, everybody. I literally disappeared for a second.
What do you mean used?
There's like, the trash is all the way to the top, climbing up the wall. I hate to tell you this. I hate to be the one to tell you this. Look at how badly you stretched them out, you guys.
Well,
You're about to give my co-host a fucking heart attack.
We had a private party yesterday from like 5 to 7. And I told the person if they wanted to have this party, I need you to spend $500 in that 2 hours for your party, and then make sure you tip the bartender 20%, which would be $100. And
do they like shut down Chatter?
No,
they don't close the doors, right?
Oh,
it
no,
opens
from 5
early.
to 7. Yeah, 5 to 7. Here's your private party. They had a DJ, Albert DJ'd, and cool. That's cool for me. We get some sales guaranteed. Louis, the bartender, he was here. He was down to make an extra $100 for a couple hours, and then the woman walked on her tab at midnight. So she was here with her party.
City girls up.
She's a very nice woman. I mean, I did not know what to think.
That's the point.
Well, she came, she checked it. I mean, we've been communicating about this stupid party for so long.
It was the owner of the private party?
Yes.
Oh, no wonder you were so upset this morning. Oh my gosh, I thought it was just like a customer.
No.
Shit.
Yeah, so I'm just like, she's very nice. So I was like,
stupid bitch, give me her address.
She was probably drunk. We should have took the card, but I know Louis didn't know maybe if it was prepaid. You know, there was all this stuff that I could have done better, but also the bitch just walked on her tab. So that's a very bad thing. So I just text her. I said, did you walk on your tab? And then it's like midnight. I'm exhausted from this big wedding stuff we're going to talk about all weekend. I've been doing wedding stuff and drinking. Not even drinking for fun. At some point, you're just like drinking to get by. Just drinking to get by. But I was like up. Everybody's asleep. I'm exhausted. But then I'm just riled up about that. And then I'm thinking, did this woman just play me? Like, was this the plan the whole time?
Give me her Instagram DM. Actually, no, I'm trying not to write people on Instagram DM anymore because they're going to screenshot that and use it as a way to cancel me before I even get started.
Just don't say any racist stuff.
No, it's not the racist stuff. I just be going off on people.
You can go off on people. It's okay when they do bad things.
I have to show you my DMs to Gavin Newsom.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll get back to my thing, but what do you think Gavin Newsom has done wrong?
Everything.
Give me 2 things.
Well, he let everybody walk out on their tabs when it comes to CVS and all that. He said crimes are going to be over $1,000 and more. So everybody been walking into every single CVS in my vicinity. I cannot get a damn eyelash curler. I cannot get tampons without having to knock on glass first. Someone has to come all the time. He let crime go up a lot.
You think Gavin Newsom's in charge of this
He
stuff?
was part of it.
No, he's not.
He was part of it. I can't remember what I was arguing with him about in 2023, but at the time, because they be doing everything wrong every fucking second. Like, oh my goodness, what are you guys doing? What are you guys saying? I know Trump's not gonna answer, but it's okay.
Oh, so you've DM'd Trump?
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, with Trump, you do never know. I can see that fool being all old and in the middle of the night, all cracked out. Yeah. Grinding his teeth with whatever speed he's doing.
Yeah, I haven't had an issue with Gavin Newsom in a while. in a long time, so I can't tell you, but I do have like histories of like DMing him. But I'm telling you, there's always something new that I'm like, whoa, what are they doing to us now? Why are you doing that? Why are you saying that?
Imagine if Stevona got canceled because of her Gavin Newsom DMs.
Actually, I think that would like rise me up.
So I go to sleep. It's fitful sleep. I'm having nightmares. And then, the baby woke up around 8, which is really good. And I was kind of up. And then she, messaged at, 9:30. She said, oh, my God, Steve, I'm so sorry. I'll come pay it today. And I was like, okay, it's fine. But, yeah, the place still looks like
She said she's going to come today.
Yeah, or she said she'll call. Let's say, I don't know. I'll get the money.
I've walked out on my tab a couple times over here too.
Yeah, you have.
I only ordered one Shirley Temple. Actually, no, there was this one time I did order 2 White Claws, and I even left my card here. I didn't even take my card.
How's your week been?
Good.
Okay.
Good. Very busy. Very active.
Oh, you headlined for the first time on Friday. I mean, you've headlined before.
I know. I'm for the first time. What you mean? Headline for the first time?
Yeah, but this feels like it's a separate place. You didn't really know the people, right?
In Palm Springs?
Yes.
Yes. And it was a paid spot.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So it was awesome. I was like, dang, I can't believe it. Didn't hit me until the week of. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm the star of the show. I'm not just gonna be on a show in Palm Springs. They want me to be the star of the show.
Yeah, if you see the poster, her head's really big on it.
And
so a bunch of little heads and then a huge head.
I love it. I love it because they didn't ask me for a fucking flyer. I honestly hate when they ask me for a flyer picture, kind of. But I get it. I get what they have to. I just hate when they do it. I'd rather them just go on my Instagram profile and screenshot whichever one they want and then put it on there.
Well, a lot of times, people, you're the first person I've ever heard say that. I mean, we pick pretty good ones here at the Chatterbox, so I don't.
You guys pick them.
Yes, but sometimes you can't find anything. I think you were pretty hard to find for a long time. You post a lot of videos, but you don't post a lot of pics that you could post on a comedy show.
You're right. Yeah. I get that now. And Darby, didn't I tell you that Darby Cash added me to his birthday show and then he took me off his birthday show because I didn't send him a flyer pic? And then he asked me if I wanted to do a drop-in set. And I was like, shut up, I'm on the fucking show.
I'm doing time.
I was like, thanks for taking me off this show and then putting me back on the show. But whatever, I was gonna fucking make my way in there. What's a party without Stevona, right?
So who went with you to Palm Springs?
It was me. Okay, so shout out Dave Thompson. He's the guy that booked me there at the Rock Gallery. Awesome place. Fits about 60 people. But it used to be a music recording room. So the sound in there.
Oh, wow.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Mwah. Bouncing off the walls, the laughter just, echoes.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, it's amazing. And then so the green room was the side where is that little window where you're watching them from the outer side.
Cool.
It felt so sick. And so he asked me if I was going to bring any comics along with me, which I thought this was a great idea for any producers out there. What he did is he knew that I wasn't going to drive out there by myself, obviously. So he asked if I was going to drive out there with a comic, and he gave that comic time.
Yeah.
So Daisy, he gave her time. She ended up just hosting because I guess he got a little bit too sick. He couldn't host. She freaking killed it. Everybody did amazing. It was so much fun. It was an all-girls lineup. Our friend Cassie went, Josh Benjamin went, he recorded, Sylvia went, Gigi went, and the awesome thing about it is that we all got booked on a show over there in August.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
What a big crew in that car. What car did you take?
We all went in separate cars, but still I was rolling deep though. I did have people travel all the way out to Palm Springs to watch me.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat.
Some people, we would have, that fucking car would have broke down had we all. Y'all know I'm not doing, no way.
and you feel like you did good?
Yeah, I feel like I did great. I actually was kind of damn, I never did 25 minutes. I've done 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But I've never done 25 minutes, so I was a little nervous, but I wasn't even halfway done with my set by the time I had to finish. So I was like, oh, dang, I could probably do an hour.
Yeah, stand-up's the most fun with the longer you do. Because you're not used to rushing through it for 10-minute sets.
Yes.
So once you give your brain the time to stretch out like that, you can get new tags, you can relax into it, you can kind of go into something you weren't counting on going into. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so great to look at your set list and say oh, I didn't even do half the
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. Everybody got rebooked again, and I love Palm Springs. When I get rich and can afford multiple houses, I'm gonna have a house in Palm Springs. I feel like that's my vibe.
Palm Springs?
Yeah.
Yeah, you party hard in the day,
Then
and
you
then
go
you
home.
relax at night.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Stevona's been giving me shit about sitting like this with my legs spread open.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you to know it's for my gay boys out there. Look at all that meat.
Oh,
right
my
there.
God.
They love it. They love it.
Look
They
at that
love
carne
meat.
asada.
I know. They love this. Are you kidding me? Come on, fellas. I want you to picture these legs over your shoulders.
They're like, look at that
Mamma
drumstick.
mia. Look at this. No, these are thick thighs right here. Nice. Nice. God, I'm still like, I'm still bummed out about that fucking lady.
I can't believe she did that.
I can. People do shit like that all the time.
I know, but I also can't believe that, like, nobody took her card before they let the party happen, which is kind of crazy.
I don't think. Yeah, that's what I mean. I guess I could have done that. I mean,
You probably just trusted her too much because you were talking with her.
well, that's
for
just
long
part
periods
of the
time.
bar thing and restaurant
That's
thing.
what scammers
generally.
do, though. They lead you on.
That's what bar culture and restaurant stuff is. You don't take the card up front. The whole thing is we trust you, especially if this woman's having a private party, that you're just going to be an adult and pay afterwards.
Yeah.
You don't this isn't McDonald's, you know what I mean? But for a private party or for something like that in the future, should have a credit card on file. And that's my mistake, okay?
And you were talking to her on Instagram?
No, she came in.
Oh.
We met initially on Instagram, but I met her here. She's a nice lady.
Okay, but you guys have each other's Instagram, so you will
and it was
see her
for
again.
like a special it was like for a cause. She's like championing. I think it's her sister or cousin who got murdered and something like.
Typical scam story.
There's like a.
If I didn't know any better, I would have said you met her in the Walmart parking lot.
Typical. Everything on her Instagram was about this too. So I was like in my head too because I have done it. I don't know if you remember that weird gay guy I went after for walking on his tab. It was $80. Do you remember that? Yeah, I made a video. So to me, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make a video about her and her cause, and like I'm just gonna that'll be good like fodder for the internet where I'm coming after her. And that guy eventually paid me, and I was like, I'm gonna make this woman pay.
Yeah,
us.
he will literally get on his Instagram story and call you out, and you even post the videos of them, right? You
Yes.
have the actual videos from the security
Oh,
camera.
yeah.
So like, don't even try no sneaky shit because you will be on those like shoplifting pictures. You know how they be doing that at the Dollar Tree to fucking those chola girls that be stealing eyeliners? They plaster your picture everywhere. Steve does that too, but he does it on his Instagram story, okay? And if it gets enough engagement, he will turn it into a reel.
I always use a reel.
No, you be he be on his story like.
Julia's sister got married on Friday.
Wait, I want to tell you a story. Sorry,
Okay,
before
tell
we
me
go
a
into
story.
that, I want to tell you a story. When I worked at the gas station at Chevron, there was this older gentleman. Because at the time I worked at the Chevron in the neighborhood that was connected to the McDonald's that I ironically first worked at too. And when I worked at Chevron, there was this boy who worked at McDonald's and why are you laughing at that? There was this boy who worked at McDonald's and his dad would come in and pick him up obviously and buy food from McDonald's. And then he would come and get gas from us. And then there was this one time where I accidentally, I don't know what I did, but we would always talk to him too. We were all really cool with this man.
Let me reiterate. So he would pick his son up that works at McDonald's. He would buy food from McDonald's and he'd come get gas.
Yeah, so he
Okay.
was like a cool customer with us.
Yeah.
So there was this one time he gave me, it's like $30 for a pump.
Okay.
And it was during a rush. And I accidentally mixed up the numbers. Some man gave me 60, so I accidentally had put like $60 on his pump.
And 30 on the other one.
Yes. So the guy that I knew, he just started pumping the whole. There was nothing we could do because they already started pumping. The other man was upset because he only got $30. So I just put $30 on it. So I was going to be short $30 on my cash register.
Yes.
And my coworker that I was working with at the time, he was like, oh, he's cool. Like, next time he comes in, I'll just tell him, we accidentally put extra money on it. And, because he paid the whole thing.
Sure.
He didn't even stop. He, paid the whole thing,
Yeah.
So he did come in the next day. My coworker was like, yeah, I told him, you were going to be short on your cash register if we didn't get that 30 back. It was an accident. And he goes, yeah, okay, I'll bring it back. Never fucking saw that man ever again. Stupid. I'm not even gonna cuss because I don't want my producer Greg to go through all that hard work for this fucking my bad.
So this guy would come in all the time.
Man, yes,
and so he
all
just
the time.
Didn't just because he didn't want to pay the 30.
He did not want to pay the 30, so he never came in again. Not even his son had to would walk outside now. And I was like, I told my coworkers, I'm like, when.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Was the McDonald's in the gas station?
Yes. What a coward, right?
Oh, that is hilarious.
I
don't
can't
even think
remember.
I've seen one of
I'm
those.
so sad. I can't remember his name. I think it was Ray, or I can't remember his freaking name. But you know who you are if you ever see this.
Had you worked at both of those places?
Yes, my first job was at McDonald's, and I would stare across the room and look at the Chevron people not do shit besides sit there.
You're like, that's what I want to do.
That's what I want to do.
What did you do
and
at
I
McDonald's?
manifested it. Oh, everything for the first year, they made me do nothing but clean up the restrooms over and over and clean, sweep and mop the outside lobby over and over. The senoras were so mean to me. I would be sweeping and mopping and they would throw lettuce on the fucking floor again. I'm like, oh my God. I used to get so pissed.
I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than an older Mexican woman
hating on you.
They just hate so hard. As a server, when I worked at TGI Fridays.
And they're still there, by the way.
Yeah. If you had if there was 3 women at the table, they're just trying to find any reason to not tip you. They're just B words to you. They fucking suck. My mom, when I go out with my mom sometimes, and my mom's a lovely lady, but not in these circumstances. She's just mean to the servers. So I can only imagine how they would treat a McDonald's worker.
Yeah, they were. Oh gosh, God, they were so rude. There was this one time where I was like, man, I'm not gonna go into work. I'm gonna call off, and I was feeling really bad about it. But I'm like, dude, they treat me like shit there. I'm not gonna go, So I had called off. Thank God I listened to my mind. I'm pretty sure it was the Lord telling me. But thank God I listened, because that day on my shift, some homeless man came into the lobby and started jerking it
Yeah.
in front of a family, and they let him finish.
Okay. Well, that's polite.
And they had one of the girls, Jackie, you should have called off. Jackie had to go up there and pick it up and clean it. And I'm like, I just know if I was there, it would have been me. They would have made me pick that up.
What if God told Jackie to not go in, but Jackie didn't listen?
Well, that was Jackie's karma for whatever. She probably did something in the past. So
I love that the family let him finish.
no, not the family. Our managers.
They. Well, I don't know if they let him finish.
They
they didn't know. They were too stunned. Was there a man there?
It was a man.
No, was there a man manager or anything, or was it all women?
No, it was all women.
Yeah, then what are you gonna do?
I guess. At least throw water on them or something. No.
Like
Throw
a
a cup of water.
disobedient dog. I mean,
Yes.
but then that's the thing though. You can't fuck with homeless people because they have nothing to lose. Any guy who's gonna go and jack off at a McDonald's could very easily have a knife. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's why I was like, thank God I called off. And I called off I didn't even call off before my shift. I called off 30 minutes into the shift that I was supposed to be in there.
30 minutes. Sheesh.
I was like, I forgot to tell you guys, but I can't come in. I'm not going to come in. I'm not going to come in. Oh, my God.
I want to talk because I worked at McDonald's for 2 years. I loved working at McDonald's.
Oh,
but this one time, the one time I called in that I was like, they can't say anything, was 9/11. Not McDonald's. I used to work at a screen printing place. This is right after I quit being a youth pastor. But the bombs and stuff, they hit at 8 o'clock or pretty early actually, maybe 7. Because I remember waking up, or my sister's boyfriend at the time called and he was like, we're under attack. And I looked, I was like, oh God. But then I was like, F this shit, I'm not going in. And the next day I just told, they were trying to, it was a small shop, so it was only 6 guys. But I don't think they were doing anything at work either. But he's like, why didn't you come in? I was like, I was just so caught up. And they're like, God damn it. They knew they couldn't say anything. McDonald's was my first job. I absolutely loved it. I had a great time. We ended up hiring I ended up getting a bunch of my friends hired. So there'd be times when I would cook out back. We would cook. This is before the queue system too. If you guys know.
I tried to get so many of my friends hired, but they're like, if you're her friend, no.
The queue system is, you've probably seen it now. Stevona knows it for sure. But you kind of put the burgers on the grill and you put this top thing down and it kind of steams them too, both sides. But I was at one of the last McDonald's that didn't have a queue system. We were straight up flipping burgers, like bam, bam, bam. There was a 10 to, I think they called it a 10
That's
to
some
1
real man shit
and a
right
4 to
there.
1. There was like a quarter-pound grill and like a regular hamburger grill, 10 to 1 and a 4 to 1 grill. And it was dope. You're just like bah, 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 and like I would love it. It would be. I'm telling you, one of the best feelings in the world to be like walking in with my apron. They're like, "Get back there, we need you." You know, to just put your apron on, just be like, "Give me that griddle," like bah, bah, bah. It was so fun. The first time I got drunk. We had a manager who was a straight up creep. Like in retrospect, he had that like balding thing where you like the classic.
Oh, like Homer Simpson?
Yeah, like classic 80s like hair. No, like hair around here and just.
Yeah,
bald
that's
all-
how Homer Simpson has, just hair around right here. He's
yeah,
bald
maybe.
right here.
Yeah. Like, but I think he was
horseshoe.
pretty young. I think he was like 30 or something like that. But he was always trying to like get us to go to his house and party with him.
Oh, stop, because I did that with my, okay.
There must be these creeps like everywhere. He lived in Colton, and
Same.
at one point, like he made these X-Men shirts. I mean, this is all like grooming stuff as I'm talking about, because he was into comics, I was into comics. So before comic book stuff, before the internet, like you couldn't find comic book stuff anywhere. And he made these like X embroidered shirts. And we were gonna go play laser tag, a bunch of us. So he took us. Yeah, can you believe this? As I'm saying it, we're on high school, but we went to spend the night at his house, and there was girls and guys, and so we got drunk. And I remember I got drunk there, and I was like making out with this girl, and I remember trying to feel her titty. And then her bra was just so padded, and she pushed my hand away. I could tell that was like the reason, and I was like, it's all right, I don't care, Very generous of me.
I had a store manager at McDonald's who, he looked older. He was very handsome. Everybody had a crush on him. Not me. I wasn't into older men at the time. But like all the girls who were like older than me at the time, they had crushes on him. And all the coworkers got along with him, but we never hung out while he was the store manager. He went to go be like store manager for Chipotle after that, and we actually found out that he was like 28. He was actually pretty young. He was like 28 or 30.
Yeah.
And we were all like tripping out. We were like, oh my gosh, he's handsome, but he looks so much older than like what he is. And he ended up giving like one of his old IDs to one of my best friends at the time, because we were underage, so we didn't have real IDs. So he was using his at the time. So they were friends and they would text. And then I don't know what ended up happening, but all of a sudden we're like, oh, we're going to go to his house to go drink. He invited us to go drink. So it was me, my my 3 coworkers that are boys, and then it was another girl. She was a manager as well. She was older than me too.
How old were you at the time?
I was probably like 20.
Okay.
Either 19 or 20. Yeah, I wasn't old enough to like go out, but I was going out to like bars and stuff like that because I was using my friends' IDs. So this girl Jenny, pretty girl, the deal with girls, hoes. Store hoe. She was a store hoe at the time, Pretty girl, by the way. If I was a hoe, if I was pretty at the time, I definitely would have been a hoe too. So I don't blame her. But she was like messing around with one of the guys one of my friends that we took, who also.
By the
worked
way,
there.
hoe is any woman that enjoys sex. Go on,
Yes,
Stevona.
yes. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. Nothing bad. We love hoes. They're like sneaking away, kissing, and I don't know what happens, but this girl ends up getting so drunk. And weirdly enough, the store manager also has his pregnant wife inside the house.
Oh my God.
so like now that I'm older, I'm like, what? Why did he do that? You know, we were all drinking, but she just got so wasted, and then we were about to leave, and she had like a crush on him, and like she was not letting go of him. She was like holding onto his neck like this, and like wrapping her legs around it.
The
She's
hoe.
like, yeah, and she's
Yeah.
like, don't leave, I'm gonna miss you, like don't, in front of his pregnant wife, and we're like grabbing her, like trying to like rip her apart, and she's like, no, I love you, like I'm gonna miss you so much. It was so crazy. Like I didn't think anything of it because I was like younger at the time, so I'm like, ah ha ha ha, but I'm like, oh my, I'm older and like it's all registering. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, oh my gosh, that is ridiculous, that is crazy. And then one of my best friends, who the one that was closer to him, started crying in the car, and he was like, he's never gonna invite us over ever again because of you, you're a hoe, like, why would you do that in front of his pregnant wife? Like, oh my gosh, it was so funny, it was crazy.
Jeez, yours is worse than mine, I think.
No, there was this one time where for when I worked at the pizza shop, my store manager's husband, he was our store manager too by default. He invited us all out bowling. So like we went bowling, and then he invited us back at his house. And I was with, I had a boyfriend at the time, and they were drinking. Like they were drinking a lot. And I don't know, one thing happened to another. Secrets started going out. I can't remember if they were doing cocaine or not. Probably not. I don't think so. But my store manager was basically saying how his wife co-signed for something or let her use his credit as something, and they completely he completely fucked up their credit, so they're in debt like thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And this guy, like, they haven't gotten a hold of him.
Yeah.
And they were like conspiring away because my boyfriend at the time drove like a motorcycle, and they were like conspiring like how to like unalive him and like get him to get into like a car accident or something like that. And I like now that I'm telling you, like now that I'm older, I'm like, what the was I doing? Like, what in the world?
And you were just drunk there.
I mean, I was just like, they're getting along. Like,
They're getting along. They're talking about murdering someone. They're co-conspiracy. Stevona's like, this is nice. They're friends.
I hate to say it, but literally that was my train of thought at the time. But then even my boyfriend was like, nah, that was weird. Like, we can't be hanging out with him or whatever. So, like, we did take a step back. Don't go to your store manager's house. Don't drink with your store manager.
Well, you know, when you're growing up now, things are a little more. People talk about it more. But I remember being a guy, and the whole goal is you just want to get drunk with girls because girls really want to have sex, but they're afraid to look like hoes. So if they get drunk, then their real self would come out. I even think of have you seen Revenge of the Nerds?
No.
It's a very rapey movie in retrospect, but it was a huge hit. And there's this scene where the nerds get with this nerdy sorority, and they get high, and then they all start like and having a good time. It's a comedy.
Okay.
But I remember that's what I was always thinking is like, oh yeah, once everyone gets fucked up, then like everyone could be their true selves. But it turns out that that's a very rapey thought. You're gonna have to hit the button on that one there, Greg.
At least you're being honest.
And that a lot of times, well, I think guys still think like this. That's why at bars, guys want to get girls drunk.
Yeah, it's really creepy.
Yeah, yeah, it is creepy.
I don't even like when men kind of suggest like bars for first dates.
Well, you don't like drink. A lot of people like drink, especially on a first date. You can have 2 drinks. I think anything past 2 drinks is this is getting into something else.
Yeah, but then like, what the fuck are you there for after 2 drinks, right? Like, you just to sit there?
No, you're supposed to. If you have 2 drinks,
there's no food here. Like,
well, not at this particular bar, but a lot of bars have food.
Okay, yeah, I guess who's bringing their girl here for a first date, right?
There's many first dates here.
Oh, okay,
I think
I
a lot of
believe
times Chatterbox is like a good in between place from if people are meeting online. So I've been here like at 7:00 by myself, and 2 people like meet up, and you could tell like, oh, this is a first date, and they'll be like back behind the bar. You could hear everything. So I'm just like part of their first date and listening to them talk, and it's so funny because It's always the guy's like the man's biggest nightmare is that this woman is fat. It's like, oh no. You could see sometimes that's like all men care about. Like, is this woman fat? And I've seen so many times where if the woman is a little bigger, the guy walks in and he's just like, oh, you see his like eyes drop. And he's like, oh no. But then they'll drink and then you could tell they go home together. It's like, yeah, God, you don't care. You don't care after a while. But women want a relationship.
Yeah, I guess that's why for me, I'm like, first date? No, that wouldn't
Show
be
that you
like.
have cute first date
A
photos.
comedy show, yes, a
Like
comedy
Sunday
show.
for a first date if you're not just drinking.
Yeah, a Sunday is good too because a Sunday the vibes are not like crazy party drunk, right? I mean, the comics still do it because the comics, you know how they operate. They're cavemen.
But if you want to know how a guy is too, a bar would be a good place because if he is respectful of you saying, "Oh no, that's fine," then that's cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it doesn't matter. I think dating sober, which I did for many years, is like really hard. It's hard to get to know somebody like without any liquid courage.
Yeah. So one time a long time ago, some guy asked me like, "Oh, what do you like doing for dates?" Because I was like, I don't really like going to drink for the first date.
Yeah.
Not to say I haven't done it in the past, but like now I'm like, as I get older, I'm like, I don't want to do that. So like some guy was like, okay, then what do you like doing? I'm like, I like hiking, going out for a walk, like working out, like rock climbing, things like that. And he's like, okay, so I can only ask you out in the summertime or like.
But
And I thought about it. I'm like, that's right.
I never pegged you for a rock climber.
I want to rock climb.
So you never have.
I like doing like activities, but
Sure.
I'll even do like painting, like the paint and sip. I'll do like a paint and
All
sip,
right.
or I'll do bungee jumping. I'll do
First date. No bars.
Knott's Berry
just
Farm
bungee
for
jumping.
a first day is cute as fuck. Knott's Berry Farm for a first date, I feel like is so cute. Like
I
a theme
mean,
park is fun.
Yeah.
Dirt track.
Dirt
A
track.
dirt track. I'll go to like the shooting range. I never been, but like I'll go.
Mine and Julia's first date
Blow this
was
whole shit up.
we went to the shooting range. Yeah, we went to the LA Gun Club. Yeah,
See that's cute.
it's
That's
fun.
cute.
It's expensive though.
Yeah, I like activities, and then like eating after. Or
Yeah, the LA Gun Club's fun. It's expensive. I think we went, and this was 10 years ago. So we went, and it ended up costing like $120. You get to choose. You pay for the bullets. So they have all different kinds of crazy guns, and depending on what you want to shoot, you buy the bullets for whatever. But I had to let it rip for my girl J Loke. Missile.
That's cute.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cute.
really fun.
Yeah. Get drunk and then hit the shooting range.
No, we didn't get drunk. I mean, we got drunk when we started dating. Man, it's so crazy. We used to get drunk. We would have, when we started dating, like the first months when you're in love with someone, we would have so much sex. We'd like 2 or 3 times a day. Like, it's crazy to think about that. I mean, oh man, I loved her so much. It was so crazy. Very early on. Because we did have sex the first time we hooked up, like the first time after a comedy show.
Here?
No, we kissed for the first time here.
Okay.
And then we went back to my house.
How
and
did you meet her?
just stand up.
But not at the chatter, right?
I feel like I haven't told the story on this thing.
No, you haven't.
Oh, okay. No, I met her just doing stand up. There used to be this show called Sleepaway Camp. It was like a big show that all the alternative comedians would go downtown, and afterwards everybody would go drink at this bar 107. And I remember seeing her. And I'm talking, there'd be like 50, 60 comics. I remember seeing her.
For an open mic?
No, for a show.
Oh, a show.
But
okay.
this was like a big show, so
56 not on the lineup, right?
no, everyone would just go to this show.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is this a London Lee show?
By the way, London Lee, I've heard about you, bro.
And not good things, my boy.
Yeah, you got to stop booking 17 comics, and you got to stop doing time in between all the comics.
And he's mixing in poetry and music now.
No, but I heard they were doing time like 5-10 minutes between each act with 17 comics.
Yup, him and his homeboy.
You got it, London Lee. Please stop.
Start a podcast already.
Yeah, start a podcast. Get it all out there.
No, I did a London Lee show and I had to tell him, I have a show after. You need to put me up first. That's a hack, everybody.
That's a hack. So I saw her there, and I'm sure we shook hands or something. But she was so hot in LA, especially at the time. I mean, everything's so different now. Where there was like a real indie scene, a real alternative scene, where everyone would hang out or they go to shows and they go hang out in a bar afterwards, and everyone would do karaoke. It was so much fun. But back then, even now though too, you'll see it. It's just different because there's no scene like that. But I was like, oh, she's a comedian, but she's like too good looking. I was like, I bet you she's an actor, because that's what happens a lot of time. Acting agents will tell their clients, oh, start doing stand-up so people will see you and you'll get used to talking in front of
Oh
people.
my gosh! Wow.
Yeah, but it sucks because you get this dumb actor where you're like, oh, you don't even give a fuck about this.
Yeah.
But I just thought, oh, whatever, this is a hot chick. And then one time we went after to Bar 107 and just nobody else went. And it was just me and Julia. And so I was like, all right, let's have a drink. And we sat down and we had a couple of drinks. And after a while, I was like, oh, man, I think this hot chick likes me. It was
Did you
like,
see her stand up before? You guys seen each other stand up
no,
before?
she saw
Wow.
me. She
okay,
saw me.
She's seen yours.
So she knew I had the goods.
Okay.
But
Gosh, if she sucked at stand up, would
exactly,
you be able to be with her?
no,
Oh,
absolutely
so you
not.
took a chance.
No, I didn't. You'll see.
Okay. Sorry.
But I would have definitely hooked up with a hot chick that was into me.
Okay.
So yeah, I got that feel. I got the feeling like, oh, I think this chick's into me, which I'm pretty good about telling when someone's into me, which they're mostly not. So that's how I'm good at it. I get the feeling. And so afterwards, I walked her to her car and I was like, hey, you should come home with me. And she was like, oh, I would, but I gotta get up early for this thing. And I was like, hey, cool, no problem. And I was like, oh, I must have been wrong. And so I didn't see her for 3, 4, 5 months.
You didn't even kiss her, but you asked her to come home with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And because I thought that was what I was feeling.
Okay.
But then when she was like, no, I was like, all right, no, that's fine. And so like 3 or 4 months later, I saw her at an open mic at Spaceland. And what did they call it after? The Satellite. And she had this great joke about guys, when guys say they don't want anything serious, but then they treat you like a girlfriend. It's a really great joke. She's got to figure out. She's got to bring it back.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Joke. And I told her, I was like, oh man, that's such a great joke. And I booked her on the Chatterbox. Then the day comes, she performs. We're drinking afterwards here at the bar. We're having fun. I'm drunk. And I tell her, I was like, man, I have so much fun with you. I was like, too bad we don't have any chemistry together. Because I really thought that she didn't like me. Because of before. And then she was like, oh, you don't think we have any chemistry? I was like, no. And then I took the chance of a lifetime. This is a beautiful moment. Where in a movie like Mr. Destiny.
And she
with
was pin
Jim
up at this
Belushi.
time, huh?
Oh, yeah. I said, hey, here's the deal. I said, there's an alley back there. There's an alley behind the Chatterbox. I was like, I'm going to go back there. I was like, we should at least kiss. I was like, we should kiss. I think we'll have a great time. I'm going to go back there to the alley. And if you...
Oh, my gosh, how cute.
I was like, if you don't come back there, I was like, then I'll wait for a minute and I'll come back in. We'll keep having a good time. It'll be like nothing happened.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, but you should come back there. But I promise I won't be weird about it or anything.
Come to the alley.
Yeah.
Come.
The dark alley.
And so
We'll have lots of fun.
I went out there and I stood for like 30 seconds and then she came back there. And then we made out and it was great. And then we went home.
Aw,
And we've
that's
been together
so
ever since.
cute.
Yeah.
Chatterbox love. Chatterbox love. That's what's beautiful about being a community member of the Chatterbox is that you get to see other people fall in love as well. And you get to see them break up. You're there for the rise and the fall.
And the train wrecks.
Yeah. There's so much that like goes on. It's so crazy. Just like watching people fall in love or watching people develop feelings for other people, which obviously happens kind of like by proxy, right? Is that the correct term? Because they're just like around each other so much and like they have fun together because they're at shows.
Well, stand-up is like, it's cool because you fall in love. Good comics talk about themselves and you get to like see how they think and who they are and if they're funny or not. And especially when you start doing open mics and you do 10 open mics a week and a bunch, you start seeing how these people are, how they think, they get better. And these are friends and lovers and all this stuff. So, people are talented. You start to fall in love with them.
I noticed I would if it ever came down to it, I would I would indeed date an ugly guy who is funnier than me, but I would not date a guy who's like super hot and super sexy if he wasn't funnier than me. Like if he sucked
If he was
on
a comedian.
Yes, if he was
Yes.
a comedian. If he was a comedian, he would like horrible ass jokes, but he was like the sexiest man alive. I could not. Like I could not.
Oh yeah,
You know?
I there was a guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a good looking guy, but he would fuck all the girl comedians, and I was like, dude, what if? I was like, how do you do that with the ones that aren't funny? And he goes, oh, you just lie to them, and I was like, oh God, what
Oof.
a monster.
Ugh.
But yeah, I
gosh.
can't. You know, with comedy. If it's just a regular girl, I don't care. But if you're going to call yourself a stand-up and be a stand-up, I've got to be able to vouch for you. I can't. I've talked about this before, but I don't think I can be close friends with people that the comics that aren't funny or good comics. You could be green. You could be like new and not super great right now.
Yeah, but have like potential.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of people like that. You can tell almost right away when someone starts like, oh wow, they're great. They understand what they're doing. They're going to get better. They're only been doing it 6 months. They're only going to be so good.
They have the idea. They got the idea.
Yeah, but yeah, there's some people who have been doing it for years and they don't get it. And those kind of people, I'm like, I can't be friends with you because I can't look you in the eye and tell you the truth.
Yeah.
If I can't like look you in the eye and tell you the truth, then I mean, I can't be friends with you.
And then you know that just their conversations are not funny either.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't be honest with them.
Yeah.
And there are people that I even like, and I'm like, oh, they're cool, but they haven't figured out stand up, and they might not ever. So I'm like, I can't allow myself to get that close to them if they're not self-aware enough to know about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just, yeah, I don't think that's being snotty. It's just, I don't want to be mean to you. I don't want to tell you the truth at some point about what I really think about your stand-up if you think it's different. There are people that think they're great and they're not great. Mm-hmm. And so like that kind of a person, at some point I'm going to have to be like, come on, man, get real. And I don't want to be
Get
mean
real.
to you. I don't want to be mean to you.
Yeah.
My sister-in-law got married. I got a new brother-in-law. I got a little Jewish brother-in-law now. Can you believe that?
Yes, I actually can.
2 doctors. My sister-in-law's a doctor. My brother-in-law's a doctor. It was great. I've got a Jewish family now. Do you know anything about Judaism, Stevona?
Besides when they did kill Jesus and then they didn't kill Jesus after. That's all I know. No, I'm just kidding.
They didn't kill Jesus.
I'm
by the way.
looking to. No, I know. I'm looking. I just tease them about it. I'm looking to expand my friend group. I need Jewish friends so they can put me on. Trying to wear a yarmulke.
You got to stop going east. You got to go west. You got to get to Hollywood.
I know. I just cannot take myself out the damn IE, baby.
I know. Yeah, that's where you become a better comic going out there.
Yes.
That's where you get booked on. That's where all the money is.
Yes, and that has been my goal. No,
Not with the Jews. That's what you're laughing at, Greg.
no, yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have more Jew friends, but that's not like my goal.
You can't call them Jew friends.
Sorry. I'm learning.
This is my Jew friend.
He's not Jew friend. He's my friend.
Are you our Jew friend? Are you my friend?
He's my Jew friend, not your Jew.
This one didn't kill Jesus.
All right, I'm done. Let's wrap it up.
That was fun.
Thank you guys so much for listening. We love you very much.
Subscribe. Let's check.
What are we at? Check it out.
Yeah, we gotta check. We have to check.
I mean, this is only a few days after our last one, so
and we've been climbing the charts like
Yeah.
no other.
she's checking.
Let's see.
I'm gonna say it's 85.
88.
88.
88.
12 to 100. This
Wow,
is fantastic.
Let's go.
Thank you guys so much. 100 subscribers. That's a big deal on YouTube. I don't
100
even check the numbers
subscribers.
on the other stuff. So if you're just listening, which I know many of you older people like me, I'm just getting into YouTube like an old fogey, but it's so fun to have on in the background when you're cleaning and doing other stuff.
Yes, and support your friends. Support your friends. Stop giving your views to these people that are already famous, that are sellouts, okay? That don't even voice their real opinions, okay? You got to bring your friends up. I know you're sitting in traffic anyways, so you have the time to listen. Just support your friends. I'm in a season where I'm supporting my friends. I'm just trying to help whoever's around me get the likes, get the views, and just rise them up faster because we all need each other.
You can find me at Herney on Instagram. Stevona, where can they find you?
YouTube, Stevona's House. Instagram, Stevona Delgado. TikTok, Stevona.
All right, we love you guys. We'll see you next week.